Too many of us are subconsciously going through life throwing our money away. This doesn't sit well with us because we are advocates of people growing their wealth and achieving financial freedom.
In this video, we're going to break down 5 financial norms that we broke in order to help you learn, save, and grow on your journey to financial independence. Hey guys, it's Jared and Amber with Holy City Family. For those of you that are new to our channel, we began our FIRE journey 9 years ago. We became millionaires at the age of 35 and retired at 38. We did all of this on a $75,000 income, and we did it with 3 young children.
Our mission is to empower you to achieve financial independence so that you can pursue your dreams and ambitions. So some upcoming videos that we've got for you guys are our Rivian stock analysis, our 2021 year-end review, how to invest like Warren Buffett, and healthcare and early retirement. So if you're interested in ways to learn, save, and grow, be sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram so that you don't miss out on all those new videos on Sundays at 10 a.m.
Subscribe to our channel. Please. Subscribe to our channel. Can you please? Can you please?
As we mentioned, we became millionaires at the age of 35, and a big part of that is because of the financial norms that we broke. One of those financial norms we broke was not overspending on dining out. When we say dining out, we're talking about eating out at restaurants, ordering takeout, using services like Uber Eats and DoorDash. The average family spends $3,000 per year dining out, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The average commercially prepared meal costs about $13. The average meal prepared at home costs about $4 for groceries, so that's a $9 savings per person per meal. A $13 restaurant meal is marked up about 325%, so it's that much more expensive than the $4 meal you could have prepared at home.
So think about all the money that you could save and invest if you didn't do this or if you scaled back on it. Jared and I have been gradually scaling our costs back on this from around $600 a month when we first started budgeting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To now kind of like a max of $50 a month. If you save that money and invested it in an S&P 500 index fund like SPY, in 5 years, assuming a 10% annual return, your investment would be worth $19,524. Now, in 15 years, that investment would be worth over $104,000.
$104,000. I'm just trying to think through that.
If you just like scaled back on eating out.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And in 30 years, take a look at this, guys. It would be worth over $560,000. Like, how crazy would that be? I mean, that's like a house.
Yeah, this is a big reason why we're such a big fan of doing budgets and budgeting your money, because it's so powerful. But you have to really sit back and look at the numbers. Our dream was not to eat out at restaurants or order food whenever we wanted, but instead to build wealth for the long term. We chose to cook meals at home and invest our money. Think about it this way: the more you save, the faster you can achieve financial independence, retire early, and enjoy life together a lot sooner. Another bonus is that home-cooked meals tend to be more healthy than a typical restaurant meal.
The next financial norm that we broke is shopping at trendy grocery stores. And when we say trendy grocery stores, we're talking about stores like Whole Foods, Earth Fare, Fresh Market, and many others.
The average U.S. household spends over $4,643 per year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That means that the average monthly grocery bill is $387 per month. According to a study done by Kiplinger in 2019, they found that Aldi was about 30% cheaper than Whole Foods. Here's a great chart from groceryquestions.com that shows how some basic products compare in price. So as you can see, Aldi is in the blue and Whole Foods is in the red. And a few of these that really stick out at us are the beverage. Look at the difference between Aldi and Whole Foods there. Bread, dairy, frozen, and personal care.
Now with this norm, think about the money you could save and invest if you just shopped at a grocery store like Aldi instead. And it's funny with Aldi, when we first heard of it, I don't know how many years ago, we were like, you don't want to shop at Aldi. Like,
yeah.
I think at that point they had this thing where they would just take their produce out and it was just straight out of a box and it wasn't refrigerated. And now they've changed that process. I feel at ease when I go in there. I'm not anxious. I have no anxiety when I go in there. And there's, the overhead cost allows those prices to be lower. So we've spent a lot of time and effort reducing our cost on this one, especially because it is such a big annual cost and it's a recurring cost that you always have. Now think about it. If you saved 30% of your grocery bill or $116 a month and invested that into an S&P 500 index fund like SPY, In 5 years, assuming you'd have a 10% annual return, your investment would be worth $9,147. In 15 years, that investment would be worth over $48,000.
Wow.
And in 30 years, that small investment would be worth over $264,000.
Our dream was not to have an experience while buying our groceries or have a wide selection. Our dream was to build wealth for the long term. Instead, we chose to shop at Aldi and have our groceries delivered by Instacart and then invest that money. Like Amber said, it's amazing how Aldi has grown and changed throughout the years, but one thing still remains, that they're strategic about not passing on costs to their customers. And a little known bonus about using Instacart is that if your groceries aren't up to par, then you can report that and you can typically get a full refund on those items.
The next financial norm that we broke is that you need to have a brand new vehicle. We know so many people, young, old, low income, high income, that consistently decide to buy or lease new vehicles.
According to the latest data, as of October 2021 from Kelley Blue Book and Cox Automotive, the average new car price is over $45,000. A 2019 article published by AAA research agency showed that the average American owner is spending approximately $9,282 per year on their vehicle. That equals a $773 a month payment.
Wow.
Now check out this image from Credit Karma that shows how the average car payments of both new and used vehicles are steadily rising.
So you can see in 2015, 6 years ago, the price was around $480 a month for a new car, and now it's around $100 more per month for a new car. And then the same with a used vehicle, it was like $360 in that 2015 year, and currently it seems like it's about almost $400. So it's, increased $40 a month over the last 60 years.
Yeah, and this chart was only
Right.
as of Q2 2020, and as we all know, vehicle prices have just shot through the roof
used.
since then. What if you could go against the grain on this?
So think about the money, again, that you could save and invest if you chose to purchase a used car instead of buying that brand new one. Jared and I have spent a lot of time and effort trying to reduce our costs here. We especially try to do this again because it's such a large one-time expense or a large monthly expense, and we see those cars as an investment, not just a car. So let's take a look at this example. Say you decided to buy the best-selling vehicle currently, which is a Ford F-150. A 2017 model would cost around $36,000, and a 2021 Ford F-150 would be around $55,000. So that difference would be around a $19,000 difference that you would save. So let's say you take that $19,000 and you invested it into an index fund with an average return of 10%. And in this example, it's a little different. We're saying that you invested that full difference, that full $19,000, and you didn't make any contributions to it. So in 5 years, you would have around $30,000, a little over $30,000. And in 15 years, you would have over $79,000. And then in 30 years, you would have over $331,000 in your investment.
We've always been the type of people that value the reliability and features of a car rather than how it looks on the outside or the brand name. We choose the vehicles that are 3 years old and with roughly 45,000 miles. And we found that there's a sweet spot that you want to be in where the depreciation has started to flatline and where you get the best value and potential future value in that vehicle. We also do extensive research to ensure that when you buy the vehicle, it has the best resale value, reliability, and safety features that a future owner would want. We even make sure that we purchase the best color for resale. And according to Kelley Blue Book, this is something we researched on our last vehicle. Right. The best colors, the top 3 colors are white, black, and gray, just for example.
In all categories.
Yeah.
So this next financial norm that we broke is buying a house that is too expensive for your income or overspending on a house.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the biggest chunk of the average American's paycheck and budget goes towards housing, which accounts for about 37% of take-home pay. Wow. Many people spend even more than that. That's 9% more than the recommended percentage of 28%, and 13% more than what Dave Ramsey recommends at 25%.
So think about the money that you could save and invest if you chose to buy just a smaller home that worked for your family. And maybe it's not in the perfect condition or the perfect location that you dreamed of, but it works for your family at the time and your plan and your budget. Now let's say you took that $300 and you invested it into an S&P 500 index fund like SPY, and you saw a 10% return on that investment. In 5 years, that would be worth $23,396. And then in 15 years, that would be worth over $124,000. And then in 30 years, that investment would be worth over $680,000. And that's just like $300 a month, that small amount.
Similar to the other norms, our dream was not to own the biggest, most expensive house, but instead to build wealth for the long term. We chose to buy a house that we can easily afford and that meets our minimum must-have requirements. Regardless of how long we plan to stay, we're always thinking about optimal resale value from day one. We researched the real estate market as well. We look at comparable sales, neighborhood amenities, and historic appreciation rates before we buy or build a house. In the past, we've used a tool or a site called Neighborhood Scout that's been really helpful, really beneficial. We'll probably do a video on that in the future. One tip we have is stay within your means. Don't buy a house just because the bank tells you you can afford it. Only commit to monthly payments that you can actually fit in your overall budget.
So the last financial norm that we're going to talk about today in this video is the one that debt is normal.
The average American has $90,460 in debt, according to a 2021 CNBC report. That includes all types of consumer debt products, from credit cards to personal loans, mortgages, and student debt.
So this is a norm that we feel should be rejected, and we should feel it should be rejected for at least that high interest debt. Debt, it's as normal as waking up and brushing your teeth, but just because it's normal doesn't mean that it's actually good for you.
Right.
It robs you of your present, and it steals the joy, it steals so much from your future. Debt keeps you stuck in a cycle that makes it impossible to build the wealth that we're talking about. And for us, when we first started our journey to financial freedom, we chose to follow Dave Ramsey's snowball method. And that debt repayment method, which excludes your mortgage, it focuses on paying your smallest debt balances first while making minimum payments on all others.
Our dream was not to own a lot of nice things that we can't afford, but instead to build wealth for the long term. When we consider taking on debt, here's what we look at. We make sure that the interest rate is low, like around 3% in the current environment, that we can easily exceed in an index fund like the SPY that has an annual return of 10%. That way you stand to gain 7%.
Now that we've reviewed these financial norms that we broke to become millionaires at 35 and retire early at 38, we hope that this shows you some great opportunities where you can cut your costs, save money, and invest. The more you save, the faster you can achieve financial independence, retire early, and enjoy the life that you want with your family sooner.
Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Join us as we learn, save, and grow together.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Have a good day. Subscribe to our channel. Please. Subscribe to our channel. Can you please? Tail please.
Say bye-bye.
Get in my mouth.
All of our videos are for informational purposes only and do not constitute financial advice. Please do your own research. Consult a certified and trusted financial planner who will put your interests above their own before following any advice we may offer.